Hi everybody, it's Grace. Welcome to Eating Peace. So most of you who know me and have watched some Eating Peace videos and read my Eating Peace notes know that I don't like, personally, in my life, it did not bring me peace to find a really strict or, um, you know, clear sort of practice as far as it went with an eating and food plan. However, because I felt sort of confined and pressured, and I had so much intensity on myself with what I should or shouldn't be eating, and so much obsessive, like almost like OCD about food and eating from early when I first ever had those early ideas that I should eat less and be perfect, and more thin, and to diet. That's what sort of came into my field of awareness first. And I started getting sort of obsessive and hyper alert about health and the perfection of food and chemicals, and it gets a little bit over the top. I could feel the emotional stress of it, almost like giving a moral value to food. You're morally good if you're on the plan, and you're a bad person if you go off the plan, and all the guilt and everything. I really needed to get away from that and look and see deeply what was going on within that created this sort of obsessive cycle in the first place, and the terrible self-recrimination and terrible feeling of guilt and horribleness, and then kind of coming back out of it, and then feeling acceptable, and then overeating, and then swinging around all over the place again. You're right, we all know that cycle is so horrible. What I really, really needed deep inside my heart, the deepest level, was no intensely structured food plan. So I do like, however, something that I learned from Janine Roth so early on. I'm so grateful forever to Janine. And sort of put it into my own words these days. She has the eating guidelines, but in the most simple way, it is to eat when you're hungry and to stop when you're full. And I know it's just like many of us that have trouble with compulsive behavior with food or obsessive behavior with food. It's, my God, I can't do that. I can't eat when I'm hungry and stop when I'm full. Why can't you? This is a really interesting thing to just spend a little more time with and be a little more deep about. Often, the initial realization of why I can't eat when I'm hungry and stop when I'm full is really quite complex and fascinating. First of all, many people will share with me, and I used to get the same sense, I don't know when I'm really hungry, and I don't know when I'm really full. I just thought I'd share with you some really short, small ways that you can have way more access to hunger and fullness today. First of all, fullness. Let's just look at fullness. You know it feels horrible when you're too full. Just outrageously bad, the sick feeling, the lethargy, the sense of wanting to sleep and not being able to move, and disgust with yourself, and a nausea. Really, really difficult. Very painful psychically, very painful. We know that on the extreme end, and I love the hunger scale, and we've seen it with all different kinds of people. Janine herself, but many others will talk about a scale of hunger, and I've made it to be very simple. It might match someone else's, but what I usually use is 10 is you are stuffed beyond all possibility for even one more bite. You're so full, you are sick and nauseated and can't hold another bite. And 0 is completely empty. Absolutely empty. 0, there is nothing in your stomach and you're extremely hungry. And I know that these scales can even change and move around a little bit. It's very interesting. Just how stuff can morph, and how there's always change and activity and movement in the sense of hunger and fullness. But we know what those are when they're real extreme. One of the first key things to do is to just bring the scale down into a narrowed place. What if you never wanted to go above a 7? What if 7 was this perfect kind of lovely balance point of just right full, not horribly disgusting. You haven't made yourself sick. It's just the right amount, and you know you don't have to eat for a while. You're satisfied. And what if you never let yourself go below a 3? And you just didn't let yourself get too hungry. You just took really good care of yourself, like you were a little baby and you weren't going to starve the baby and you were going to get some food for you. When you can begin to trust just yourself, clipping off the ends of that extreme by that many points, 3, only go up to a 7, only let yourself go down to a 3. I found this incredibly liberating, especially with the not letting myself get too hungry, because indeed, something in my whole physiology would begin to get frightened when I was too hungry, even though my mind was saying, you're doing great, you're starving yourself, good job that you're not compulsively eating. Not very supportive though, because then your body is just going to do everything it can to even overcome that mind that seems to have a moral value on how good it is that you're not eating something. And the mind plays in and the emotions play in, and it just becomes a philosophy around food and eating. And I wanted food and eating to be not a philosophy or something I had to have intelligence or knowledge about, but just a feeling of peace. I just wanted eating peace. I knew that babies do it, and they don't have a PhD in nutrition. I wanted it to feel natural. So there's one thing you can do is just go back to, that's a basic physiology. Don't let yourself get too hungry. Don't let yourself get too full. And the second little tidbit of a tip that might help a lot is that your body takes just a little bit of extra time than your mind does, or you're raging. Like if you get super hungry or you're in binge mode, emotionally wanting to eat, you eat fast, 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 right? When you eat fast, it takes the body just a little bit of time to catch up with the speed of food going into your mouth and down your throat. If you can let yourself relax and say, I am going to get plenty. I am going to let myself eat everything I need to be satisfied. I'm not going to play diets. I'm not going to starve myself. I'm not going to hurt myself. You are going to be okay. I'm going to take care of yourself so well. I'm going to take care of you. That's the voice you're using. Then you can slow it down. And slow it down doesn't mean we're bringing it to a grinding halt and you're never going to get to eat that more of that thing and you aren't going to get satisfied. So you're just letting yourself relax and move a little more slowly so that your body can catch up, so that your stomach can feel the food that you ate, because it does have to travel down inside. Here you are taking something from the outside world and you're communing with it. You're using energy on this earth in reality. It's really kind of a fascinating thing, and you're bringing it into yourself and you're sharing with it and you're using it. Your body is using it to move about, to take action, to live, to be alive. And it takes a little while to travel down and go into your stomach and to feel. So if you can slow down the process of eating, I often will say, write it for a moment in your journal if you feel stressed out. Just see if you can wait. When people come to the Eating Peace Retreat, we do this guided meditative eating. And it's amazing how some people haven't done that in years. And they're afraid they're not going to get enough food. But you're going to get enough. All we're doing is slowing it down. So those two things. Slow down so that you can feel yourself moving towards that beautiful 7. That lovely eating peace 7 of satisfaction. And then how fun it is to start to empty out and have your body use the fuel and go through and begin to get hungry again. And don't let yourself get too hungry. Take care of yourself. Have little food around. I love snacks. Love snacks. So then you don't have to feel so nervous about that the only right way to do it is to wait until, the clock says a certain hour. Now, nothing wrong if that's what's working for you and you love structure and you need to have hours that you're eating at in order to stay in tune. But really, ultimately, what I wanted is eating peace, and it might be what you want too. So just play with that and experiment, and don't let yourself get too hungry and go slow. All right? Let me know how it goes. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.